Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Greatest Journey. Fantastic stamp set with dies, and I nearly didn't get the stamp set. You get a bundle, you get 10% saving. So this is the stamp set. It's on page 59 of the new mini catalogue, which runs till the end of April. It has the most amazing papers, which I've got and I will be using later on, not for this particular card. There's the stamp set and the die, and as I say, if you get them together as a bundle, you save 10%, which is good. And if I show you on the other side, you can do all sorts of amazing things with them. So there's, there's flowers, there's silhouettes and things, just absolutely brilliant. But I thought, as always, I would start with the stamp set, because with all the dies, I was sort of, I want to use all the dies. But I thought, no, let's start with the stamp set. I like some of the sentiments. This moment is the start of something great. You belong among the stars. Mountains of thank, wishing you joy in this next adventure. We're in this together. I'm so inspired by your courage. So covers a lot of things. I like these little bits and pieces and things in. You know me with little pieces and things that I think work really well. So we are going to, and obviously this sun moon is going to be beautiful. So I'm looking at bright colours at the background. This is Melon Mambo. This is going to be my matte, which is 1/4 of an inch smaller. Just realised I've actually cut a piece out of that. That's probably not going to work very well. I probably won't, I'll put it on something different at the end, because I've just realised I've obviously used that for something and have taken a slice out of it. Now, what I've done is I'm going to make a mask. So, largest of the layering circle dies, I've cut a circle. That will then go on there. It means I don't have to do any massing or things like that. Grab myself a scrap of paper, because by having a scrap of paper, it means then that I don't have to worry about changing my grid paper while I'm in there. So we are going to be using, got some new product as well, which is, haven't even used them yet. These are minis, so small blending brushes. So they are, I haven't even got them out of the packet yet, but I've been using the large, which I think are fantastic. These ones are the minis. Now let me show you against the comparison of the bigger ones. What I've done with my third one, it's about somewhere, but oops, I've just wangled the camera. Apologies, it'll make you all dizzy. Okay, so that is the size of our the ones we've had for a while, the normal blending brushes. These are the small blending brushes. Now you can see that the handles are exactly the same size, which is great. So you've got that. It's just the heads that are smaller. So we're going to try one of these and see what they're like. I'm probably going to do it for the details. So I'm going to take this and we're going to start with, I think I'm going to start with Calypso Coral, because I want some, let's just do that on there. That should be fine. Now obviously start on the background first and then just take it across, because you can always build it up more, but you can't take it off. So I'm doing this for a reason, because I want to have some colours coming through. Now you can see I'm pressing on there. If I want it to be a little bit lighter, if I just take it from the edge and don't overly press on there, then I can work that through. Right, that's the first one, which is Calypso Coral. I want that because I'm going to be stamping my sort of moon in on there. So I wanted something that was going to be a bit bright. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to use the same brush. I'm taking the Melon Mambo. I'm going to take that in from up here. Just bring that in so it mixes in with the two. And as I say, just sort of build it up however you want it. Okay, so that's those two colours which blend quite nicely together. Now I want to take some, this is Orchid Oasis. And again, it's entirely up to you what sort of colours you use to blend and add your colours in. And I've already got this one, so I'm going to keep it with this brush on here. And we want to just take it in. Just up in on here, so you don't want it to come overly dark on here. I'm just sort of building up a bit of colour in, whoops, just round the sides. Now you can do, I've done it with like fairly thin paper, you can do it with thicker paper if you want to. So I'm just taking that up on here. And maybe just a little bit in on the bottom. I don't want it overly coming through. You can see how you just sort of build up a little bit around on the sides. You want your inside bits to be quite bright, but I want a little bit on the side. So that's the lighter blue. Now, the Starry Sky is very dark, so I need to be careful when I'm putting the Starry Sky on that I don't over egg it and then get it too dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it round this way because I want that to come up in on the bottom. Make sure that I've got my mask nicely in on there. I can always pick it up and put it down like that because I know that I've got it exactly where I wanted it on the size of the paper. This is me making sure that I've got it exactly where I want it. Come on. Looks as if it's just come out just a little bit. That's fine on there. Okay, so I'm going to take it this way just a tad because I want this. You can see how dark that is. I want that to come in on the bottom of this side. But I want it to come up quite nicely round the sides so that we're not getting it too, you can see I've just got it round the sides, but I've got quite a lot of this, the pinker in the centre. Okay, so I'm going to add some more of the, bring that out. I'm going to add some more of the Melon Mambo in on the centre. So as I say, if you know that you're somebody who always works in from one side, then just make sure that you're taking it from a bit that isn't going to be too over the top. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got this coming through. Can you see how it's giving that sort of really nice almost like a silhouette coming through, which is exactly what we want. So let me see how that is. I'm going to take this off. That's perfect. Can you see how you've got the, it almost makes it look spherical because you've got the dark around the edges. And I think, as I say, that is going to work perfectly for what we want. So we can get rid of the mask if you want to. I didn't use the tiny one, actually. I should have, but I didn't. I think it'll work quite well. But because I had the other colours already in there, I wasn't going to do that on there. So that is our card base done. and it's going to go onto the Melon Mambo, which makes it pop even more. Now we've got some of these stamps, so I want to take the grasses, and so let's take these out. I haven't used these ones yet, so I might have to season them a little bit. So we want some grasses, because those are going to be pretty. And I want this sun or moon that's going to come in the center. I want some of these little tiny flowers that look like little dandelions. There's another one down here. Let's take that one out. And I've got some little sort of twinkly stars in the sky. I'm not sure whether I want the stars in the sky or not. Maybe, we'll see. They might come in to just go around the outside. That's that. And then what sentiment we were going to have. This moment is the start of something great, I think, because that's going to, yeah, that's going to work where I want it. There's adventures and things like that, but I think that that will work quite nicely. Let's try those ones. So I'm going to take my background off for a minute. Now I want to have, I'm going to build this up as sort of a bit of a scene. So I want to have some, I think that, oh, and I've got something on here that I've taken off of something and haven't put it back. Let's put that on there. Okay, so this is the grass part, because I want to take that in first of all. That's going to come down there. Now I can do it all as a silhouette in black, but I'm not. I'm going to put some colour in there. So I'm going to start with, I've got two greens, garden green and pear pizzazz. I've always liked them going together. And so we're going to have that in like that. And yes, it is the first time. I haven't seasoned it or anything, so I'm just hoping it's going to be perfectly all right. I'm sure it will. So on here, I'm going to take this so it doesn't come in too much. And we'll have just a couple in like that in the pear pizzazz, which is the lighter one. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put this in over the top. So we can just have this in, so you can see that it's just giving, that's quite nice that it comes in on there and just gives a little bit of interest at the bottom. Okay, so we've also got these little tiny, I think they look like dandelion clocks, don't they? You know, dandelion clocks that have been blown or are being blown, you know, when you've got the lovely clocks on them. So I think I'm going to do those in the darker green. So let's just have a little look at, I have one down there. I have one out on the other side like that. Don't think it's going to show if I do it in the center, but I'm going to add just one in the center to see, sort of. Now, the reason that I've done that is that what I want to do is to take, because we're using the Melon Mambo. I haven't got Melon Mambo in a blend, but because I'm only going to do a tiny little dot in the center, I'm just going to do just that in like that on these. So I'm a bit quiet because I'm trying to work out where I've put them. Okay, so it just comes out as a little flower that just gives a little bit of colour in on there. So you don't want a huge amount, but just a little couple of speckly dots. In fact, what I might do is to just do just some little dots to just tie it together. Okay, oh, actually, we've got a smaller one as well, haven't we? That's the big long one. Let's have a look at this little tiny one as well, because they might work quite nicely. So that's the smaller one. Again, I'm going to do that in the garden green, because then it just gives a little bit of sort of foliage up on there. And I'm going to maybe put one just out on the side here, and one just out on the side there. Okay, so it's come in and gone out, but it gives that sort of little bit of meadow, wild meadow in on there, which I think is going to look lovely. So let's take this one out again. And because we're only doing a tiny little speck, if you've got Melon Mambo, that's perfect, but don't actually need it as much. So just take this one and that one. There's a little one down on here. There we go. Okay, so that's just given the little bit of colour in on there, which is quite sweet. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Now we're going to have this one, which is the sun or the moon or whatever you want, sunrise, sunset. Now, let me have a look and see. They've got that on a bit of an angle, haven't they? I'd probably have it straight, actually. Or do I? I'm just looking at the picture on here. Got it in on there, so it's at a bit of an angle like that. Let's try it at the angle, because that's the way it's been. It's on the front of the stamp set. So let's, rather than having it straight, and I'm taking the Melon Mambo, because that's what I want it in. So it's like a blood moon on there. Just need to make sure that that looks better. Okay, so that little dot was up there, that was down on there. So this is going to come in on the centre, like that. Oh, that's nice. Yes, that works that way, doesn't it? So it's as if the light's coming through on it. You could probably have it straight, but let's do it as it was on the catalogue. On the stamp set, you can see on there it's coming at that angle. So I'm taking it with the angle with it. Okay, so the next bit we need to do is, I want to take these little twinkly parts, and I'm going to just add some of them in, and I'm going to take them in the Starry Sky, which is the darker one, because then that can come up and just now I am going to put the mask back on for this, because I don't want the stars to come outside, but I do want them to look as if they are coming outside as well, because I want them sort of right at the edge. So I'm doing them just in like this. And a little bit across here. That's pretty. So when I take that off, you can see you've got it coming to the side, but you've got those really sort of pretty twinklies coming through, which is quite nice. And then I'm going to keep this colour out for doing the stamping. And then we can take the they're the words that I was going to have, wasn't it? So I can come in like that. I'm going to do something at the bottom of here because it's going to need it. If I'd had a sentiment that went right across the bottom, that would be fine. But I think, now I want the sentiment to come up on here, but we're going to have to bring the foliage and stuff down a bit. So this is going to come in like this on here. Perfect. So that looks lovely on there. What I do need to do is I need to take this bottom piece in. I'll show you something I could do with it. I don't think I'm going to, because I don't think it's going to work as well. That's going to come like that. I think that that's lovely, but we do need to bring this down across onto the bottom, which we can do. Or I've done the dies. Let me show you on here. I'm going to show you one. I've done the flowers on there. Now what I could do is to put the flowers in on the top like that, which would look quite pretty. In fact, I might do that, but I am going to take this down a bit. It needs to cover more of the area, because otherwise it's just going to be a little bit floating around in the air and not grounded enough. So let's take the pale first, then we can add the dark in. But I love the delicateness of this grass, if there's a word as delicateness. It's very delicate. It's not thick, heavy grass at all. It's actually really rather nice. So I'm going to take this down. And then I'm just going to take a little bit in on the middle here, like that. And then we need to just take the darker. And then I can put that in like that. And then the little flowers. So, oops. Sure I've got enough on there. Look it down at the bottom. That. In the middle like that, and then we can take the little flowers in out at the outside. Let's put that in on there. So I'm going to put these little flowers in again, because I think they're quite pretty to just add a little bit of something. So let's just take these down in on the outside. Like that. And then we just need the little one as well. And then, as I say, I probably would put the other piece in over the top. You wouldn't necessarily need to. I would have bought the circle that we've done. I would have brought it down a bit. So I'm just taking this just to there like that with the grass. And then let's how far are we doing? Oh, we're not doing too bad. I'm just going to take this one again, just add a little bit of just in on here, just to bring it together a little bit, like that. Then if we put this onto the Melon Mambo like that. See, it does look quite pretty like that, but I think that this probably works better over the top like that, and then put that up with dimensionals. So you've got that coming in over the top like that, and then you've got the these will go up with dimensionals. I might actually colour this in slightly differently. I've used Flirty Flamingo, Pool Party, and then rich raspberry, which, as I say, would work. I probably would have added some of this, which is a little bit more pinky, but I think it works. Put that up, as I say, with dimensionals, and then you've got a very sort of fairly simple, straightforward, easy card just using these. I did use the die for cutting that one out. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.